everyone. Thank you for attending my talk. I know you are all sleepy because just now you had lunch. So that's why I won't talk too much. So I have a lot of demos to show you guys. So before that, so thank you once again. So today I'm gonna topic is unique way to hack into a Python web services. So don't worry, I'm not a hacker. I'm just like basic developer, like how you are. Like I'm a full stack developer. So I work at V45 Solution. Then and also I am a developer of open source project called Orchestron. That's vulnerability correlation engine. So where we correlate multiple tools vulnerability and we'll show you a dashboard. In that we'll show some of the examples so that developer can fix the vulnerability. So that kind of stuff. Then also how many of you know threat modeling? So if you know threat modeling, this is the one of the first tool we wrote, automated threat modeling. So this is also an open source and also I am a contributor of that. So you can check it out there. And also I am a part of multiple CTFs in-house and also I was part of DEF CON CTFs. So this is my Twitter handle, you can follow me that. So agenda. So agenda is introduction to web service. I will talk about what is web services and what are those types of web services are available. So just basic introduction. So next, what are the common vulnerabilities are there in web services? Like, so what are those vulnerabilities? I will talk about that. After that, I will go into unique vulnerabilities. What are those unique vulnerabilities are they found in web services? So, and also how to mitigate some of the unique vulnerabilities. So, and also I have a lot of demos to show you guys. I hope demo will work fine because you guys know, right? Once you develop the product, when we want to show the client, that time it won't work, right? I hope today will work fine. So, what is web services? So how many of you have attended yesterday Django REST framework authentication talk? Yeah, then you know web services means, I think. So basically what is web services means, it's like centralized backend services. So it's like machine to machine, it transfers information or exchange. So for example, or if you are written in application backend in REST framework, if you want to integrate front end in Vue.js or React.js, you can do that. So and also if you want to write mobile application, if you want to like Java, it's written in Java, you can write it. Still it's like centralized. So how it looks like means, you can see like blue color is the REST framework part, and these are all like front end. You can write, it's like centralized application, so you can do that. That's why REST framework are very popular nowadays. What are the types of web services are available? So one is SOAP-based web services, another one is RESTful web services. I won't talk about SOAP-based web services because SOAP is basically Java related. So RESTful web services is a lightweight web services. It transfers information via HTTP protocol. And also, one of the good thing is REST framework is it supports multiple data formats. It supports XML as well as JSON format. Next, what are RESTful frameworks are available in Python? So you guys all of know Django REST frameworks, right? So and also Flask is there, Falcon, Pyramid, CherryPy, Bottle, and many more frameworks are available. But most popular one is Django REST framework and Flask. So what are common vulnerabilities are in REST framework? So SQL injection, cross-site scripting, CSRF, and session hijacking. These are all common vulnerabilities we are seeing in our web services. So you know, right, Django prevents some of these vulnerabilities. How many of you know this prevents some of these vulnerabilities in Django? Okay, nice. So actually, Django prevents SQL injection and cross-site scripting, CSRF, forgery, and also session hijacking. If you are using Django, these are all vulnerabilities not possible to attacker can do SQL injection in Django application. If you say we have written in our application in Django, pen tester, they will say, really? Then we can't find SQL injection. Because we are an information security company, we know our testers how they feel bad about when we give a Django application. So because how Django prevents some of these attacks because of its rich middleware. Django has a middleware. So I like Django because of their unique way they thought of security. Other than other frameworks they didn't thought about security. Django is, I'm not saying because of this is a DjangoCon. I started programming using Django and Python. So when I was learning Django and Python, it is so easy to use. It's like Django.py, start project, and start app, your app is ready. So simple. They made it so simple, user-friendly. So because of that, and also they thought of security related, like they inside middleware, if any request or response comes, it transfers via middleware, so that it checks is there any malformed injection or something, any requests are coming, it checks. If it is anything malformed or anything, it's not related to the application, it rejects the request from there itself. Or if any unauthenticated user contacts to the server, it rejects there itself. So that's why Django is most popular. So some of us, we don't know because of, we just develop the application, that's it. We don't know about how Django works. So this is why Django is most popular. And what about these vulnerabilities? So if you're using Django REST framework, this is the stateless application, right? It's completely decoupled from front end is different, back end is different. So because of that, we need some of authorization to authorize. So because of that, we use JWT. If you attended yesterday talk, you know what is JWT and all. So we can make, what about this means? JWT manipulation, we can do that. And XML external entity, then IDOR, then server-side template injection. There are many more vulnerabilities are there. So these are all vulnerabilities. We can do that. This is not an Django flaw. This is basically an architecture flaw. When we design the application architecture, we have to take care of these are all flaws. So we should make sure that avoid these are all flaws when we are architecturing the application. So first one, I am talking about JWT manipulations. So we follow OWASP standards. How many of you have heard about OWASP? It's good, not bad. So OWASP means it's an open web application standard programming. This is an open source project. So where so yearly or 4 yearly, they will collect the vulnerabilities or attacks. Based on that, they make a standardized vulnerability, make top 10 vulnerabilities based on that. So in that, broken access, the JWT manipulation will come in A5, that's broken access control. So why JWT is required? As I mentioned, so as I mentioned, JWT is required because of it's a stateless application. So we have one common understanding about JWT. We think that it's an authentication mechanism. Actually, JWT is not an authentication mechanism, it's an authorization mechanism. So once we authenticated the application, so next time the user, if he wants something information about product or some user information, so he needs to send the JWT so that we can authorize he is a valid user or not. So that's why we use JWT. So it transfers information between server to client and server to client and client to server. So it is very lightweight. JWT, why is there are many more frameworks are available, but JWT is most popular because of its lightweight and it's scalable also. So Json Web Token look like this basically. So if, for example, headers will be there. In this header, it's algorithm. It's like JWT means a signed. It's not encrypted. It's signed with unique ID. So that if attacker, if he wants to tamper, he can't tamper. Because if you want to tamper, he needs a unique ID. Then only he can tamper the JWT. So JWT looks like, I will show you one. This is the jwt.io. This is the one you can see. So this is header. So in this header, you can see the algorithm. So algorithm, there are two types of algorithm are available. So HS256, another one is RSA. RSA means it's like public and private key. So it's encrypted with public key, private key. If you want to decrypt, you need a private key. Then only it will decrypt the information. So in the payload section, you are passing the information or data. So that is like user ID, username, email, or role. So that when you are decrypting, you can validate if the user or role is existing or not. Next one is, as I mentioned, signature. So unique ID signature. You are signed with an unique signature. So we think JWT is secure, right? Because no one can tamper with the JWT. But it's wrong. JWT, there are many ways to JWT can make wrong. So first one is, if algorithm allows, it's like, for example, how do I say? It's none signature. If it is allows the signature is none, it's like signature we need a unique ID. If unique ID doesn't exist, if the framework it allows none algorithm, then it will be a flaw. So next one is, there are algorithm confusion. Algorithm confusion means JWT allows two type of algorithm. One is SS256, another one RSA. For example, if when user asks authenticated to the server, it encrypted via using RSA256. When client receives, that is encrypted with the RSA256. When client sends back to the unique JWT to the server, it is bind with the HS256. So it is like algorithm confusion. Next one is unique private claims. So for example, you should validate JWT based on some of unique IDs, like using email IDs or unique IDs. You should validate based on that. There's a recent attack happened in JWT. How many of you know Auth0? Okay. So Auth0 basically is like centralized authentication mechanism, centralized authentication, like AWS Cognito. So because of they had one flaw in JWT, so they compromised so many users' information. So this is on recent attack. So I am praying to God. I hope demo will work. Okay. Can see everyone? No? No? Okay. Clear? Okay. So there are list of users are available here. There are two users are there. So one is super user, another one is admin user. So what I will do now, so there is a Tilak one, username is Tilak. So I will take his Tilak's token. So this is Tilak's token. So what I will do, copy this and jwt.io. So now I can see the information. Is it? You can write. Okay. So this is user ID is 5, then username is Tilak, then email ID is tilak@v45.in, right? So now what I will do, I will copy his token and I will paste it somewhere, okay? Now Tilak wants to change his username. Instead of Tilak, he wants to change his username as tilak.t. I don't know, some reason he wants to change his username. So what I will do, I will update his username. So his username is Tilak T. So now what I will do, I will create another user. So his email ID is different, tilak.t@v45.com, but username is Tilak. So what I will do, I will create user. Okay. Now, so okay. So now I copied this token belongs to tilak.t at v45.in, right? If I use this token, it should not give me the list of products because the username Tilak, that tilak.t at v45.in, he changed his username. So it should not allow, right? Because I'm using this token, because this is the tilak.t, his username is Tilak. So what I will do for you case, still it's accepting. So if you didn't get it, I will show you again. So I'll get a token of tilak.t. This I renamed, username I changed. I'll token his take his token. So I'll copy his token into Jwt. This is actually his token. So which a user I created, tilak.t at v45.com. So if we want to authenticate with the application, he should required Jwt. For that, he should authenticate, right? He didn't do that. Without authenticating the server, he get the access of the server because of he used other person's token. So what you have to do basically, so you have to avoid, once username is changed, you should destroy his old token, or you should bind unique IDs using email ID or any sum of, you have to generate some of UUID or something. You have to do, based on that, you have to validate. Okay. So how to mitigate? As I mentioned, you have to validate based on unique ID. And also Jwt lifetime, it should be shorter. So we miss this one. It's like we use default lifetime, like it should not be the more than 8 hours. It should be lifetime shorter than 8 hours, so that we can prevent some of these attacks. And also check library file. I have not made any single changes in this code. I have used Django REST framework JWT. In that has a flaw this is. Because Django REST framework JWT using username based, it is validating. So someone is mentioned, but they didn't still fix this. So I use same thing here. I have not changed any code. Be careful when you are using libraries. Make sure that check library, any issues are there, then you can use in your application, so that you can prevent these attacks. Because this is not your development flaw, this is a library flaw. Okay. Next one, insecure deserialization flaw. This is one I like, this one actually. So because in 2013, OWASP 2013, this deserialization flaw, it was not at all there. Because in 2017, they included, because of the insecure deserialization, attacks or breaches happened a lot. Because of that, they included in the 2017's OWASP category. They made it separate category for insecure deserialization itself. So what is serialization and what is deserialization means? Serialization means it converts object into a binary. For example, for example, one e-commerce website will be there. So vendor, he wants to upload his product. So he can't create n number of products, right? So it takes time. For that purpose, we will create some of the YAML file. So in that file, he will add product name, product price, description, something. He will add some information. When we upload the YAML file, so when we receive, so that is called serializing. It converts object into a binary. So once it's in our views.py, then we will extract. That means we will deserialize it. That means binary to, we will convert binary to into an object, so that we can read and then we can save into our database. So in that case, if you are not validated what is coming, or what is coming, is there any malformed information is going on or something, if you are not get validated properly, then it will be looks like this. It's like bad egg chicken. It's like completely malformed. So because of this, the attacker, he can access your application server completely. And also you can make your application completely DDoS, that means denial of service, so that user can't use your application. So there is a recent attack happened in WordPress. So many website has been compromised because of some of the plugins. WordPress plugin has this serialization flaw. Because of that, so many websites has been compromised. Another one is PayPal. PayPal was using Java because some of the Java serializer has some of these flaw. Because of that, PayPal also has been hacked. Yeah, I know. Django is secure, right? As I mentioned. Yes, of course, Django secure. But what about this? We use some of the serialization, right? XML we will use, YAML we use, and JSON we will use, right? How many of you used PyYAML? Okay, it's good, not bad. So, how many of you tried Taven? How many of you know Taven? Okay. Taven is basically a REST framework testing API. So, in this is an open source project. In this, we found the vulnerability. We didn't inform them, but we found the vulnerability in this. I will show you how. So I'll upload one YAML file. In that contains name of the product, then category. This is a bad code, I'm so sorry. Then description of the mobile, then price, available, and stock, and image. This is the basic, normal. This is the YAML file I should upload. So I'll upload now, product. It's created. So let's go to list of products. It's created, right? So this is the way the client should upload YAML file. So what if I'm a bad boy? I will do something else because of this. I'll do something. So what I will do, I will try to get some of the environment variable. So it's like backend, is it validating or not? Something I will check. So for that, what I will do, so this is the malicious payload. Okay. Scare. So in the description section, I will add one Python small script. This is. So one line code. I will print env. So what it returns, how many of you know what print env means? Okay. It returns environment variable of the server, right? So if you are saving anything, information like password, so we will save it in environment variable. If you are deployed any application, if you know why we will use environment variable. So we used to save password or something information, or so I will try, is possible it will give it back or not. So now it's giving, see, environment variables. You can see it, right? Here somewhere MySQL server DB, see, MySQL host. MySQL DB is showing. Because I am using Docker Compose, so that's why MySQL DB is showing. So it's showing entire environment variables. So now I know that in backend, I am not validating anything. It's like I can do any activities. I can do now reverse shell access. Reverse shell means I can compromise the server. So I can gain the access. In my local system, I will set up one local server. I will contact that server, then I will gain the shell access in my local system. It should not do, actually. If it does, then your application is gone. It's like done. So we'll try that one. So for that, I will set up netcat. I think it's running. Okay. It's right. How many of you netcat? Yeah. It's good. So I'm setting on local server here, netcat. So if then in my malicious code, this is the reverse shell code. And before that, I have to check my IP of my local system's IP, because I want a shell access in my local system. That server's shell access I want. So for that, I will access if config. This is my IP. So this is single line shell code execution. So this is a single line Python code, this one is. So I gave my IP here, and port is 1337. Okay. So netcat is running 133. Right? Yes, 1337. Netcat is running 1337. Right? So now it's too big. So this is the reverse shell. This is the file, YAML file I uploaded. I updated, sorry. So now I will upload. So if I come to this, see now I have complete server access. It's boom, completely. Now I can do whatever I want. Right? So write cat etc slash pass, oh sorry, slash etc slash. I have now password etc. So in Ubuntu, all passwords are stored in etc directory, right? So now I have all users password. So now attacker can do whatever he wants, like he can compromise, he can lock your application completely. Okay. How do we mitigate this, right? What was the problem happened in this case? I will show you. That's a single line code problem. One line code, because of that, our entire application server has been compromised because of one line code. If anyone used YAML, they will know. I'll show you the code. Okay, this one. Because of YAML.load. In a way, it's correct. YAML.load, it like loads the information and it's just dumped into the database. That's it. It won't validate. Is it a valid? It's like malicious activities are going on. Nothing. It won't check nothing. It's just dumped into the database. It requests some dump. What is the information comes, then it's dumped into the database. That's it. So when we are deserializing it, you should deserialize based on. You should integrate the checks based on digital signature. And also, you should, when you are serializing, make it isolated environment. Use containers. So use container, and also make sure that container should be normal user, not as a root user. If you are using root user, then he can compromise your host system as well as. So be careful. When you are using isolating, make sure that it is a normal user, so that if attacker can compromise that, he will be in that container box only. He can't access other host system. Next, monitor incoming and outgoing outputs. So how many of you heard about recent Facebook breach? If you heard about, because of their monitoring system was they good, because of that they avoided the major breach. Then this is what, instead of YAML.load, use YAML.safe_load. That's it. So that you can prevent this attack if you are using YAML file. So, and also another way is there. I'll show you how to prevent these attacks. So, how many of you know Bandit, like SAS tool? It's good. I think. So use Bandit. Bandit means this is a source code analysis. It analyzes code. If it finds any vulnerability in your code, it will say that you have a vulnerability in this line, so please fix this. So we can do it, this one, using git commit post hook. So if you integrate in that, so that we can prevent some of these vulnerabilities. I will show you how. So git. some changes I some changes I made. So if when I'm committing, it scans. So this is before pushing into the repository. So before pushing into your repository, you can scan. It says the vulnerability it found. So please fix this vulnerability. This is somewhere. This is something. Yeah, this is the one. Load. Yeah. See here. In line number 119, aml.load you are using. So it says, so that if you are using, if use git post hook, so that you can prevent in some of the attacks. Next one is IDOR, Insecure Direct Object Reference. So how many of you know IDOR means? It's a shorter format. Okay. So one hand. Okay, I think security is low. Hold on. So IDOR is in OWASP as the Jwt is a broken access control. It comes under. So how many of you used PKID in the URL? As a Django developer, you should know, right? Same. I also use same PKID. So while using that, you should be careful when you are using it. For example, user profile. If we want to access some of user profile, what we will do in the URL, we will pass PK, right? So that we can validate in our backend, we can validate PK. So user.objects.get, I'll show you like this. This is what we are using, right? Yeah. PK, we are getting PK value, then we are validating a user.objects.get ID equal to PK, then we are showing this information to the client. So if you are not properly validated, then the attacker can change the super user's email ID or password. He can change. So how? So for that you can prevent using that. If this in Django, there is one good thing I like about in middleware, request.user, you can get who is requested, you will get. So based on that, we can validate that. So we can, I'll show you a demo, you will get to know how it works. Okay. Then, how many of you have Yahoo breach in 2014? No one, okay. 2014 Yahoo breach has happened because of this one small mistake what he made developer. That is in subdomain suggestion.yahoo.com, because of he can traverse others users profile. So he got around 1.5 million users records. So I'll show you demo how it works. See, I think, yes. So this is, so this is the username is 2. Okay. So what I will do. So I'll make 3 use. There is no 2. I don't want to create password, so I just copy pasted that. So what I'll do, Tilak is a normal user. So now what I'll do in this case, his ID is, technically his ID is 7, right? You are able to see, right, 7 ID. So instead of 7, what he does, he changes 5th one ID. 5th one is admin user ID. Okay? He changes admin user ID using his token. I'll take his token. This is normal Tilak's token. So he uses DWT. This one. So now he will change email as admin@v45.com. Then username is DjangoCon. He will make it change. It should not accept, right? So this is the current username. You're able to see? I can't zoom this one. I can't. I think so. Okay. So I have a time constraint. I'm so sorry. It's okay. So I will change it. it's accepted. So if you go to database, see, now there is no Tilak username, he's an admin. But I changed it into as DjangoCon, and also I have changed Tilak.t at v45.in. Instead of that, I changed it into an admin at v45.com. So now if I am an admin at v45.com, now I can access applications. So how do we mitigate this? As I mentioned, Django has a good thing that validate in while requesting. Request instead of direct sending PK, just validate request.user.id is a valid user or not, so that you can avoid such kind of things. Next, check database that genuine or not. As I mentioned, same thing. I'll skip. I don't think I have time. So some of tips I'll give because I don't have time constraint. I have made lot of demos. I have to skip now. I'm so sorry. I'll share with you anyway. So use SCA, source composition analysis. That means it scans your packages. So if you are finding any vulnerabilities in your packager, it says this vulnerability exists in this version. Please upgrade this version. That source composition analysis it will say. Use that one. Also use SAST, as I showed you, Bandit. Use that one for Python, so that if any vulnerabilities in there in our code, so that we can prevent these attacks. And also run Dast. Use Zap. That's an open source project. So it gives a good API. So we can integrate in our, as a developer, we love to use APIs, right? No? Okay. I love to use APIs. Okay. If you didn't, please try. It is really good. So include security testing in a Devops pipeline. If you are using Jenkins or Travis, anything, so use this pipeline, make it as a pipeline. So I have, how many of your robot framework, how many of you have heard robot framework? None? Okay. So robot framework is like Selenium. It's like Selenium, you have to do XPath, it's like blah, blah, blah. We have to do so many things, right? In robot framework, we have to do like markdown extra, run this Zap, run Bandit. That's it. It will take care of everything. So that's a very easy, I will show you how it looks like. So I have a basic demo also. Within 10 minutes, I'm not sure. Okay, I'll show you. That's right. This is the robo script. You're able to see, right? So this is the robo Zap. It runs Zap. Then it's like I am using safety also for source composition analysis. I commented Bandit because it takes time. It should read all my codes. It takes time. So just I commented that. And Zap will run the scan. Zap is basically pen tester use the tool to scan your application. So here I am using the Zap. So we will run that Zap script. I hope it will work. Right? Robot. So this is the running command. That's simple, so simple, right? This is using robot. Run safety again as requirements, then use this path. That's it. Run Zap. You have to give that path. In Selenium, you have to give X path, like so many things. I didn't learn Zap. It was Selenium. I hate that one. It's too complicated to run that. So that's why I love this robo script. So I'll run this. Okay. Oh, as I mentioned, some problem has happened. No. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry. The spelling mistake. So sorry. So it's now it will start Zap. You can see Zap is starting now. So this is the Zap. If you are not familiar with Zap, this is the basically penetration testing. Their team, they use Zap and Burp the most. So they test against your application, they find vulnerability, and they give a report to you, right? No? Okay. So I'll just click. So you can see now, it's automated. It's set to the context. Now you can see some actions will going on here. See? Okay, it's time up. So it will scan like this. So why, just my suggestion, anyway I'm sharing this script in GitHub, please use this. In IDAR, I have written script, but it's not working. I'm just working on that. Once it is done, I will update in GitHub. Please use this script in your daily basis, your application development, so that you can prevent some of the vulnerabilities. So this is what that gives. And also robot give reports. It's really good HTML report. It gives you where it is. Okay, here. So this is one report. Okay. It gives a really good report. You can check it out. And also now safety has a written it. So PyML has a flaw, please fix this. Unicorn has a flaw, you have to fix that, it says. And also Bandit has some of problem. This is Bandit giving results. So you can check out these results. So this Zap is gave you some of the result, like medium, what is the vulnerability name, what is the request, what is the response. So that using this you can prevent some of the attacks. And I am sharing with you in this link, please have a look. And also if you are anyone interested to contribute with our Orchestron and Threat Playbook, please. And this is my Twitter link, and thank you so much for your patience. I hope you like this.
Just like a really fast question, you mentioned time lifespan
Okay.
for tokens. What's your recommendation for a short lifespan?
Make it lifetime shorter, make it maximum 6 to 8 hours. Once the user is not logged, user is deleted or he's changed username or something, his activity is done, please make sure that JWT is revoked. You generate new JWT token. So that's the good way, so that we can avoid some of these attacks.
Nice talk.
Thank you.
Whatever you showed here, is it specific to Django, or can we apply this to any other web framework?
Any other framework you can apply. This is actually Django talk, so that's why I showed Django related stuff. So you can do it in if you are using Java, if you are using .NET, you can do it. It's very simple. So Zap doesn't care if it is a Django, only I will do Django related, I find vulnerability. We don't do that. It's like tool, right? You can do any applications, any programming language.
Let's thank Tilak again for the incredible presentation.